Yes, this is the last diagram we discussed in my class. Is there someone? No. Okay, fine. So this is the last diagram which we discussed in our class. The relationship between AC curve and ABC curve. Can you remember what we are discussing in the class? The cost. Okay. The cost chapter. So here that relationship we have discussed already. Okay. That why the minimum of the average cost curve is to the right of the minimum of the ABC curve, right? So that we have discussed. Now tell me, before going to the new slide, I'm just asking if you have any query regarding any of the cost slides, just ask. Okay, because you must be conceptually clear. Any problem with any of the diagrams? These are the diagrams we have discussed. If you have any query, you can ask. Which part is not discussed? Yes, this is the last one. Do you have any problem? And I cannot see that chat box now. Huh? So if you want to give answer, give it verbally. Okay, fine. As no one is giving the answer, everything is clear. I can assume it. Okay, so this is the next one, the marginal cost curve. Now, what is the shape of the marginal cost curve? Look, there is a relationship. As I say, sometimes 2 marks questions are coming, that what is the relationship between the marginal cost and the marginal product curve. Okay, so to do that, you need look 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maximum of 5 lines of mathematics. So what is that? Look at the total cost. You know the total cost is the summation of your variable cost and the fixed cost. Now I am differentiating this first line, okay, with respect to Q, quantity produced. So as your fixed cost is constant, you know, so that part will be 0. So you have del TC del Q is equal to del VC del Q. Okay. Now what is your variable cost? Variable cost, you know, the cost for your labor, that is W into L. So your del VC del Q, that becomes W into del L del Q. Okay. So as W is constant, that second part of differentiation will be 0. So W into del L del Q. Now you can write that del L del Q as 1 by del Q del L. And this is nothing but your marginal product. So again, you can see the marginal cost is the inverse of the marginal product, W divided by MPL. Okay. So there is an inverse relationship between marginal cost and marginal product of labor. So this is how you can draw your marginal cost curve. Your marginal product curve was inverted U shape. As the marginal cost curve has the inverse relationship with the marginal product, so it is a U-shaped curve. This is how you can draw, or you can just go to your total cost curve. There you just make some tangent, the slope of the total cost curve for different quantity produced, and just like the diagram of the marginal product, you can do it in case of marginal cost, or you just apply this relationship between marginal cost and marginal product and draw your marginal cost curve. Okay, so there are 2 ways to draw the marginal cost curve. This is the first way, and the second way, just take your total cost curve for different quantity produced, find the slope of the total cost curve, plot them in the second diagram, join all those points, you will get your MC curve. Okay, because MC curve is nothing but the slope of your TC curve. Okay, so this is the second way. You can draw anyway, as this is the easier way to draw your MC curve. I am using it here. Okay, now what is the relation? Why we are trying to find out the relation? Because we want to draw all the curves in the same diagram. Okay, so to do that, we have to know the relationship between the curves. So this is the first one, relation between AC and MC, average cost and marginal cost. Again, your average cost is total cost by Q, so your total cost is Q into AC. So again, you are dividing your total cost in two parts, VC plus FC and Q into AC. We are differentiating it with respect to Q. So these things are coming. Ultimately, the equation, the relationship is MC minus AC is equal to Q into del AC del Q. Done. Now you know the shape of your average cost curve from here. You know the shape of your average cost curve. It is U-shaped. So I am applying this theorem here. It is like initially your average cost curve is falling. So del AC del Q is less than 0. And if your right hand side is less than 0, your left hand side should be less than 0. That means MC is less than AC. Okay, so MC is less than AC. You have just drawn your AC curve. You know the shape, so you just did it. Then after you try to impose or you just try to draw the second one, that is the MC curve. So your MC is less than AC, so you are just drawing it like this. You know the shape of your MC curve as well. This is also U-shaped. You know the shape of your MC curve, you know the shape of your AC curve, but you don't know the relationship between these two. So initially when your AC is falling, then MC is less than AC. Then after your AC is at the minimum, so del AC del Q is equal to 0. So at the minimum, MC is equal to AC. And then after when your AC is rising, MC is greater than AC. So the diagram is showing this. So what is the thing, or in a single sentence we can say that MC curve is intersecting AC curve at the minimum. Okay. MC curve is intersecting AC curve at the minimum of AC curve. Okay. MC curve is intersecting AC curve at the minimum of the AC curve. Done. So this is the relation between AC and MC. The next one is the relation between AVC and MC. Again, the objective is to draw all the curves in a single diagram. Now the relation between AVC and MC. So again, your AVC is VC by Q. So VC is equal to AVC into Q. Again, I am differentiating it with respect to Q. Then it becomes MC minus AVC. And your right hand side is Q into del AVC del Q. You know the shape of your AVC curve from this. You know the shape of your AVC curve. This is your AVC curve. And that you got from the relationship of with the APL. So you know the shape of your AVC. You just draw it. And you again, you know your MC curve as well. Now, initially your AVC curve is falling, AVC is falling, then MC is less than AVC. The same thing, look, it's a very similar. The relationship between AC, MC and the relationship between AVC and MC, these are very similar. So you can understand that MC is also intersecting AVC curve at its minimum. Okay, MC is intersecting AVC curve at the minimum of AVC curve. So MC is intersecting average cost at the minimum of AC curve. MC is intersecting AVC curve at the minimum of the AVC curve. Okay, so these 2 points are clear because these are required. Now, given all those information, this is the final diagram. Look, this is the final diagram. Look at this diagram. So you have your AFC. Actually, there is no such relationship between AFC and all MC. Okay, because MC is not influenced by the fixed cost. It is a change. It is a change of your total cost. As fixed cost is not changing, so AFC is not influencing your MC. So AFC, you know, the shape is rectangular hyperbola. So it's like this. Your AC, you know the relationship between your AC and AVC. AC minimum should be to the right of your minimum of AVC. So it's like this. And then after you have to draw the final diagram, you have to draw your MC curve. So draw your MC curve like U-shaped curve, you know the shape, but it will go through the minimum of AVC and AC. This is important. Okay, that your MC curve is U-shaped. All the curves except your AVC curve, all curves are U-shaped, but your MC curve will intersect your AC and AVC curve at their minimum points. Okay, so this is the set of your short run cost curve. So in the short run, you have fixed cost, you have variable cost, you have total cost. And based on all those concepts, you have the average fixed cost, average variable cost, and average cost. Average cost is actually the average total cost, but as it is not good to listen, so that's why we are saying average cost. Okay. So, and the fourth concept is the marginal cost. Marginal cost is the change of the total cost. Okay. So you have these. Basically, we need these 4 lines. Actually, we need these 3 lines. Specifically, we need these 3 lines. AFC is not up so much. We are not using so much AFC curve. But anyway, these are the set. Acha. Again, the AVC and MC. Okay, that we have done, na? AC and MC. Yes, that we have done. Anyway, it's done again here. If you want to need the only the mathematical portions, these are here. So this is all about the short run cost curves. Now tell me if you have any query with the short run cost curve. We will clarify it first, then we will go to the long run. So tell me, it's your turn now. Just ask me the question. If you have any query, you can ask. And ask verbally. I cannot see your chat box now. You don't have any question in your life. This is very good. So now I am discussing the long run. As there is no problem with your short run. Look, these last two slides of your short run course, this is actually the repetition. This is actually the repetition because we have already done this here with the diagram. But still, if you need only the mathematics, these 2 slides are very good. Okay. Now the long run cost. As you know, in the long run, all of your factors of production are variable. So there is no concept of fixed cost. The first bullet is saying this. There is no fixed cost. Because all factors are variable, no? There is no concept of fixed variable. Sorry, a fixed factor. There is no concept of fixed factor in the long run. So there is no concept of fixed cost as well. Fine. Now again, you have only 2 factors. This is fixed to you. Labor and capital. Okay. Now the expenditure for labor is W into L and the expenditure for capital is R into K. So these two are variable to you now because it is the long run. Okay. So in the long run, the total cost is W into L plus R into K. Okay. So this is your total cost. Initially, in the short run, if you can remember, in the short run, your total cost is W into L plus that R into K is a fixed one. That was a fixed cost, but now this is also a part of your variable cost. Okay. So total variable cost is the total cost in the long run. That is the thing. Total variable cost is the total cost in the long run. Okay. So this is your long run. Now this is a new concept, the concept of ISO cost. Okay. ISO, you can understand what is ISO. ISO means same and cost means, cost. I should not explain what is cost. So ISO cost means the line along which your total cost is fixed. Done. Now look at the first bullet. ISO cost is this is actually the definition of the ISO cost line. It is the locus of labor and capital so that the total cost is constant. Okay. It is the locus of labor and capital so that total cost is constant. Fine. Now, what is your cost equation in that case? See, from the last slide. Your total cost is equal to WL plus RK. It is here as well. This is total cost is replaced by C. WL plus RK. But as by definition, your total cost is constant, so C has a bar. Okay, so C bar. C bar is equal to WL plus RK. Done? Okay, so this is the cost, this is the ISO cost equation. Okay, this is the equation for the ISO cost. This is the equation of the ISO cost. Okay, now look, once you have the equation, your next task is to draw the line. Can you see my diagram? Can you see my diagram? The lines are very thin actually. So can you see this? I forgot to make it prominent.
Yes,
Can
ma'am,
you
it's
see?
Yes,
visible.
ma'am.
Okay. Okay, fine. So you have your cost equation. Um, in the next when I will okay, fine. In the next class, I will definitely make it more prominent. But anyway, once you have the cost equation, you have to draw it. So now to draw it, the very first thing you have to find the slope. So what is the slope? Look, in the where you are trying to draw it. The horizontal axis, you are going to measure labor, and on the vertical axis, you are going to measure capital. Okay, so the slope must be dkdl, right? The slope must be dkdl. Now, if you're going to differentiate this cost equation, your left hand side will be 0 because it's a constant, C bar. And here in the right hand side, you will get W into DL plus R into DK. Done. Now, you need DKDL. So, if you just make the left hand side, right hand side and like this, you will get DKDL, that will be minus of W by R. Okay. That will be W by minus of W by R. Now, what is W? W is the wage rate. And what is R? R is the rent. These two things are parameter in this case. Okay, these are given to you. Wage rate, rent, you cannot change. As a producer, you cannot change them. These are given. Now, once these are given, that means W by R is a constant with a negative sign. So, simple. The line is just like a budget line. Okay, it's a downward sloping straight line. The slope is minus W by R. Done. Then after, the next step is to find the vertical and horizontal intercept. So to get the vertical intercept, what you have to do? You have to say that there is no horizontal intercept. That means there is no L. Okay. If there is no L, that means you are not employing a single unit of labor. All of your cost is going for the capital. Then what is the total amount of capital you can employ? C bar by R. Okay, so C bar by R, that will be your vertical intercept. That is the maximum capital you can employ. And similarly, C bar by W, that will be the maximum labor you can employ. So that will be your horizontal intercept. Okay, so you have your vertical intercept, you have your horizontal intercept, and you have the slope. So now just draw. The line is downward sloping straight line. Okay, so isocost line is the downward sloping straight line, is very similar of your budget line. It looks very similar. Okay, so this is your isocost line. Okay, fine. So up to this part, in the next class we are going to discuss about the in the next class we are going to discuss about the equilibrium. Here look, you have isoquant. Okay, from your production you have isoquant. You know the property, the shape, everything about your isoquant. And from here you are getting isocost. So you have to just join them. As a producer, what is your objective? Your objective is to minimize cost, right? It should not be your objective to maximize your cost. No, your objective is to minimize your cost. So when you are going to minimize your cost, then you need the concept of iso cost definitely, and you need the concept of iso quant as well, because that will show your production options. Okay. So what production combination will give you minimum cost? So that will be discussed in the next class. Okay. So in the next class, we are going to minimize the cost, and there we will add isoquant with this isocost. We will find the equations and so many things are there. So we are going to discuss all those things.
Ma'am, what is W and what is R?
Okay, what is W? W is the wage rate and R is the rent. So let me show you again. Yes. Can you see? No. Just a
No,
minute.
ma'am.
Just a minute. Just a minute. Can you see the slide now?
Yes, ma'am.
W is the wage rate and R is the rent. That means if you want to employ 1 unit of labor, what is the amount of money you have to pay? That is the wage rate. And rent is like this. If you want to employ 1 unit of capital, how much of money you need to pay to that capital? That is R.
R is like rate of interest.
No, no, yes, you can say this rate of interest, but if it is capital, capital is not only the money. Capital is something, it may be the land, it may be anything. Other than labor, all other factors are under the capital. No? So the reward of all those factors of production is called the rent. Not only money. If you want to get a rented land, then also you have to pay the rent. No? So that rent is R.
All right, ma'am. All right.
Any other question? Look, I have done my cost actually. Now I have to join the production and the cost. But individually, I have discussed the for production and individually I have discussed the cost. So now my task is to club them. That I will discuss in the next class. That is why I didn't start. I will not start. Just a minute.